Hello and welcome to Roll on the Adventure, the show where we create and play and give you role-playing games. This is our second session playing Primordia, and I'll cue the intro.
Roll on,
Roll on,
adventure. Roll on,
adventure.
Excellent. So today we're playing Primordia, a game we created 2 sessions ago. Played with playing cards. It's a PvP game, so there's scoring between the players. So what are our takes from the previous session? So how did we find it during the first playtest?
I had a lot of fun with it. Playing Aram was a lot of fun. Doing the little arcs was also really cool. Got to play a variety of characters. That was interesting. Yeah, it was nice to sort of create that world as well.
It seemed to work quite well with the high level beginning, and then you drill into your individual cultures, and then events start happening. So you don't have to front load with a shed load of world creation and what's going on. You get to start quite high level and drill down.
I do like the idea that every new game you just build in a world straight away and it develops as you play, like launching straight in and you're playing the body politic of the entire world. It's really, really interesting, certainly from a routinely a DM standpoint. It's really, really amazing to play over and over again.
What I really enjoyed was that I've played a few games that facilitate world building with the group, but most of these games seem very very oriented to people who are really veterans with role-playing games. And I think just coming up with 10 keywords per card face, card suit, is easy enough for novices to get onto. I think it's a really good point of the game, really good selling point.
I think it could be quite tricky for people that are quite new to set out the adventure scenes. A lot of people don't want to put themselves in trouble, maybe. That could be a bit of a barrier for some folks. And the game was quite swingy. It could have gone either way. It could have gone. I only got one lot of points scored, and I still managed to win. So that's that there was quite a bit of jamminess in there, though a longer game might play slightly different.
A lot of it is, I think, we're more focused on creating the narrative story rather than it being a tightly balanced game of who can get the most points. That makes sense. It's very much not something you could do as a tournament game, because, as you say, it's quite swingy, and the main thing you're doing, making up the story, is completely unscored. So you could get somebody that's awesome at narrating the story, get 0 points.
Yeah.
But if you're playing it, you're probably more into making up the story than you are into literally getting the point.
As somebody who is actively working on the behalf of the Fallen One to try and get my points for my Queen card, I think really it's probably for the best that it's as swingy as it is, because it gives those people who are trailing that ability to come from behind for a glorious victory.
That is true, yeah.
You could possibly add some kind of mechanic of you can, at the end of each round, you vote who's done the best role playing or something. I don't know.
I think
that kind of thing's always a bit iffy.
Yeah, it can be quite tricky because, how many points do you make that worth?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you just going to get people not voting for the person who's in the lead?
I was just trying to think of possibly ways to even out the points curve a bit, so it's,
as
you say, less swingy.
I think any adjustments to the points curve we'll probably have to look at after this for the post-mortem.
Yeah.
I don't think we've got quite enough time to go over that right now. There is one thing that we did discuss beforehand that we might want to change, and that's the Joker mechanic. We're supposed to swap leaders of our people as well as swapping face-down face cards. But last time it was quite obvious that would have been quite detrimental to the story that we were building. having Granny Stacks suddenly replaced would have been quite bad for the narrative. I think we need another option. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that it didn't. It was useful that we changed the face down cards, but I think narratively could be done better. One idea would be to sort of change the narrative, and perhaps because these leaders are ultimately responsible to representing their tribe. Perhaps we could say that when a Joker appears, we have a scene of sorts with one of the leaders, the player who picked the Joker card, and their own tribe. So sort of a tribe council or something like this.
So it's like a scene drilling into their culture, what they're like when they're not at the Council of Elders meeting.
Yeah, because the cultures don't need to be monolithic. Like you ultimately go back to your people and say, we discussed these topics in that council, and this is how we're progressing. And perhaps you have internal opposition, or you have your own plights or scans.
So there is the option to change leader there if you wanted to.
That's not a bad idea. If there's a character that's just not gelling with the rest of the main council, it gives the player that opportunity to axe them or keep them if they're just working.
I think if they, it shouldn't be just on Jokers that you can change who you're playing.
You can choose any time, you say.
That's awkward.
Potentially, because it's all very narrative led, so there's always the possibility of it makes sense for my leader to have died or been incapacitated or overthrown in the last section, so I need to change.
I suppose that does make a lot of sense. So that's going to be the rule change that we're going to make. That's how we're going to be playing it today. Demetrius is going to be in charge of the cards.
Yeah, I got the oversized novelty playing cards from Tiger.
Yeah, it's great that both me and you couldn't find a regular deck. We've just got giant oversized novelty ones.
I think I haven't played cards for years, like actual card games like poker or anything else, for at least a decade or something like that.
I know I've got some somewhere.
And yet all of you own tarot decks.
Yeah, I own 3 tarot decks, but I don't know where my regular cards are.
Same here. 2 tarot decks. I have cards.
And yet
somewhere.
I don't play poker and I don't own any tarot decks, but I've got playing cards aplenty.
Although one of them is the sort of French sort of gaming tarot deck, not the divination tarot deck.
Oh, cool. Does that mean it's missing the major arcana?
Well, they're just numbered. They're not
Okay.
They probably are specific things, but I genuinely don't know what they are supposed to be.
So I was going to ask, do you play any tarot games, like with the playing deck? Do you know any tarot-specific games? No. I
really don't, and I've been meaning to get myself a tarot deck at some point, purely for the idea of having something different, having something that can lend a bit more diversity, but I've just not picked up any games or systems that use a tarot deck.
I think we're sort of rapidly getting off topic now.
I
think what we should do is decide on what the card suits are going to represent in this next game of Primordia.
So the last time we did, what did we have? We had magic, industry, tradition, and exploration.
Yeah, I think so.
It was quite a pulpy feel in many ways.
Exploration.
Yeah. This is quite, I don't know, I want to say pulp, steampunk, sort of.
The technology did, especially Chris, the Harathi, sort of alchemy, sort of a bit steampunky. That was kind of the image that I was getting from the Harathi.
Yeah. Well, I kept drawing the explosion card, so Grenadiers and alchemy kind of made sense, and they just got better at it over the course of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they were fully industrialized, but they definitely had a fair amount of industry and chemical manufacture.
But yeah, what are we thinking? I think we should possibly put like spirits or something down, like the unearthly.
Yeah, something focusing more on the, as you say, unearthly kind of openly magical side of things.
I can't think of the word, but I feel like we should have a suite that embraces the sort of more sort of medieval Arabian sort of bazaars, caravans, the sort of philosophers sitting in high towers sort of feel, but I can't think of the word for it.
I think we should just put like it's a texture thing. Like it is like these cards are all about this texture of the world that we're trying to create, and
you could just have trading or something like that, like traveling, but a bit more specific.
I think we could get away with just making a suit like things we'd like to see, literally just like cool things for the world
and prompts for people to work on, which is literally what they are.
We are very explicitly doing that with one of the suits. That could work. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. We could. It's a playtest. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and we decide. We've sorted one thing out.
I'm just going to put setting for diamonds then.
Okay.
I would really like to see some sort of bardic. I don't want to say tradition again, but some sort of storytelling theme, like
myths or songs.
Yes.
Or like mythic legacy, or
lore. We could say lore.
I like lore.
R-E or W? We
Not
had
this
issues
again.
with this last time.
L-O-R-E.
Thought so, yeah.
Great. So we got one more to pick. Then we'll do a couple of cards. Then we'll sort of go offline and then fill the rest out. So
do that offline.
you listeners.
We have the unearthly. Should we have a deck of the mundane? So farming, mining, things that are simple and essential.
How about nature as, earth as opposing the unearthly? So you got bears and you got your hurricanes and you got everything that's,
Yeah, the power of nature sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I kind of want to do a game of this as like the first session of a D&D campaign or something now.
Do you know, I actually used last week's or the last episode's deck in my current D&D campaign.
All right.
Cool. How'd it go?
It confused the ever-loving hell out of my players, but they really got engaged with it.
So you were just drawing off a card as like inspiration for things that were happening, or
they encountered a pair of fiends that were playing a game that they didn't recognize. So as part of an effort to be diplomatic with them, they tried making up their own game with the deck and playing it off like, it's a game we play all the time. What they don't realize is they've changed the nature of an entire world that they will never see.
I believe the traditional thing is it's a deck of many things. Let's see what happens as all hell breaks loose.
Similar to, yeah.
Cool. So now we've got our categories. Do we want to do, say, like we'll start at some of like the fives or something and have a quick do one of each?
Do one or two and then quickly do the rest online.
So the unearthly. I think that I think a good thing to go for would possibly be ghosts.
Spectres.
Yeah.
Or maybe a specific kind of ghost, like the heroic dead or something.
Should we just... Oh, actually, the heroic dead I quite like. I was going to say, should we just say spirits?
So we got our heroic dead. What else should we put in? Let's do one of each. So a setting thing. You were saying bazaars?
Bazaars, yeah, or market.
Or something Joel mentioned was like the Philosopher's Tower as well.
I want... just to add another one to the unearthly, I like the idea of djinn or genie.
That sounds really cool. So you've got like a race that are unearthly, but aren't part of this council.
Yeah, obviously depends on how they're described. It could just be we will remember their legacy or something, rather than possibly there's actual djinn wandering around. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So law. What are we going to think for law?
I'd like a drink of some sort. So perhaps
drinking songs.
Drinking songs, that's cool.
So you've got like
That's
these
kinda cool.
traditional drinking songs that like come up, or like traditional revels and things like that, which have like meaning to people. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so natural power. I am good. People call with giant snakes.
Giant snakes are always.
Why does it have to be snakes?
Yeah.
Giant snake. Anyone else got one for nature or another type of law?
Yeah. Something. I want to say earth elemental, but it feels too on the nose.
We could go with Sunstorm.
Sandstorm fits.
Sandstorm fits.
Yeah, so we've got a bit more setting built into the cards this time, which is kind of interesting.
Mm.
And I think that's going to be really cool to play. Right, we're going to fill in the rest of the table. Does someone want to do a wibbly sound effect?
Yeah, we're back in the.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got the table filled out. I'm looking forward to this. It's very different to last time.
It's a lot more thematic this time around.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've built a lot more setting into what we've put, which, I think that's going to be a taste thing anyway.
Yeah, we've kind of gone for a general feeling and theme and worked around that rather than last time it was deliberately fairly generic.
And let's see how it works out. That's going to be fun. Right. So we're going to quickly deal out our face cards and then decide on our races. So, Joel, are you going first?
I am indeed.
All right, so everybody else gets defend, and I deal Joel.
There we go.
So, Joel, your face-up card is the Jack of Diamonds,
Jack of Diamonds. Yep.
and your face-down card is the King of Spades.
King of Spades. Thank you very much. Next person.
Worries.
Right. So what cards have I got?
Okay, so your face-up is the Queen of Spades,
So yeah.
and your face-down is the King of Hearts.
King of Hearts. Cool.
All right, so Chris is up next. Chris,
Yeah.
so your face-up card is the King of Diamonds,
Diamonds. Yep.
and your face-down card is the Queen of Diamonds.
Okay, cool.
Okay, and I'll say mine and then invite you back in.
Yep.
So my cards, my face-up card is the Jack of Spades, and my face-down card is the Queen of Hearts. So everyone gets back in the game.
Oh, the mystery is so exciting.
Okay, so what are people's face-up face cards?
I am the Jack of Diamonds.
And the Queen of Spades.
My face up is the King of Diamonds.
And I'm the Queen of Hearts.
Ooh.
Oh, Granny Stacks.
Just preemptively betray him. It will save time. Later.
Okay, so we're going to quickly have a think about who we're going to be, come up with our races, and then we'll be back to you very shortly. And we're back. We have picked our races and our leaders, and it's going to be the first of the council meetings after the Fallen One has been locked away. So what are we going to do with it this time? Last time it was at the volcano prison of the Fallen One, what with the Fallen One having been hurled bodily to the earth. What are we going to go for this time?
I'm thinking something more like we don't know physically where the Fallen One is because it's a desert world with lots of hidden spaces.
It's more of a metaphorical prison or mystical prison.
Or it could be a physical one, we don't know, but there's lots of various malign and problematic forces out there to keep an eye on.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff that's like was on the Fallen One's side during the war that's still around and might want to bring it back, like remnants.
Yeah, because we've got the unearthly category on the
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
themes, so it was kind of playing off that.
That sounds good. So yeah, we're not at like the prison. We are some sort of ground that's been arranged where everyone has agreed to meet,
Yeah,
as it has been ordained by the gods.
because we
Yeah. So where's this place going to be?
Certainly within the confines of one of the big trade cities, because if we're all clustered together as civilizations, trade is going to be...
Yeah, I think trade is important, definitely, in this setting. So a trade city makes sense. Is it going to be a trade city that's run by one of these characters? Well, one of these characters' races?
It certainly cannot be mine because my cities are vertical. I don't think the rest of you can climb as well as I can.
And my guys are kind of nomadic and traveling without. They might have like quarters and districts in some cities, but they don't really have cities of their own.
Okay.
I think my civilization probably makes the most sense to be the host city of.
So do you want to welcome us to your city?
All right, so welcome to Al-Barir.
Al-Barir.
Yes.
Cool.
Al-Barir is a city with protected by clay walls. It's a collection of ziggurat structures, and the palace is the tallest one of the ziggurats. It's located directly over our temple, and there is a hanging garden on top.
Nice.
Yeah, so you'll notice the absence of steps. Every ziggurat is accessed by a flat platform because my people are the Naga, the snake. Half people have snakes, so we slither everywhere.
So it's humanoid top half, snaky bottom half.
Yeah, like a snake centaur of sorts.
Awesome.
So otherwise they're absolutely 100%. So they have this sort of human mammal characteristics.
Cool.
So yes, and you're led to the council room, which is actually a specific hall that used to be a temple council, and there are various artifacts of the Naga people there. There are some swords, and there are some ceremonial wands, staves that the priests were using, and there are no chairs, sadly. So we'll all have to be standing up.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
So the leader of I am playing as currently the leader of the Karai, who are desert nomads who typically dress to show off lots of tattoos and scarification across their bodies. As I say, they're desert nomads and travelers with an occasional sideline in banditry. They don't have much in the way of actual cities or towns, but they do have quite a lot of trade routes, quarters everywhere. They're actually kind of humanoid as well, actual humans as well, which looks like it might be something of a rarity in this setting.
Right. Awesome. Shall I go next?
After you.
Okay. So in through the doors, kind of lopes this sort of monkey-like thing. It's got kind of long ears. It's kind of gangly. It's got fur mostly over it, and the bits that aren't furry have got these sort of silvery scales, and it lopes through. It's followed by a 7-foot tall floating monolith, kind of vaguely conical in shape, kind of like rough-hewn granite, and the rock hums, and it's like its humming changes. It's one of the singers, the floating monolith, and the monkey thing kind of introduces it as like presenting Un of the singers.
So arriving last, not through the doors, but through the windows, because they just walked straight up the walls, are the Illic, a race of antelope folk who have no patience for ramps and the like, because they're just a nuisance in the way. The leader, Merge Bang, is a gloriously dressed and well-decorated antelope folk. Sort of tall antlers just decorated in golden chains and little trinkets and things, and wrapped entirely in finest woven silks that trail behind him.
Cool.
He announces gladly that the Illic delegation have been here for hours, just waiting for the rest of you to show up.
So you can make a dramatic entrance.
Dramatic, if you like, through the windows. There's not a big show of it. We just prefer to be
Fair
different.
enough. Yeah. Un's kind of hums.
Show-offs.
Yeah, Un's humming sort of modulates, and the interpreter kind of is obviously listening. The singers, I'm glad that you have welcomed us in your homes. It doesn't seem to be very good at this talking business.
Welcome, and I hope you enjoy your presence in Al-Barir. I'm Konmar, and I'm the ruler of this city. Welcome to Al-Barir. I'm Konmar, and I'm the prince of this fine city. You see that this specific Naga is dressed in silk clothes, purple and blue, and he wears sort of very ornate copper braces.
Cool.
The last of the people to arrive is a human. He's wearing fairly loose, raggedy trousers. His top is currently pulled back. You can see all along his torso there's huge amounts of tattoos and ritual scarification. Some of it is similar to lettering, but quite a lot of it is kind of mystical runes and inscriptions that you can't quite read. He's got a slightly fearsome array of knives and other weapons on him, as well as lots of trinkets and bracelets and so forth that appear to be made from bone.
Cool.
As I'm sure you are aware, I am Lakal Sir Penathi Ipfala. Now, I've called you today in order to speak of what is happening in the deep desert. As I'm sure many of you have already seen, the ancient winds are gathering again. Out in the desert, the bones of the ancestors, they speak of great evil returning again. We must seek this out and try and stop it before it destroys the world once again.
The monkey thing is on top of the monolith. It's kind of like it's got its face to it. It's humming to it, kind of interpreting what you're saying. Its humming changes kind of quite rapidly. The monkey thing kind of waves. We will. The singers will help if we can.
Master Chon Ma, your people are reputed to know much of the ancient histories, as well as all of the benefits of the cities you have. There must be benefits you can, or aid you can lend in this time of strife.
I think that the Naga have indeed lots of ways to contribute to this, but I think that this charge, this quest should be led by the Krai people. I think that you're the most appropriate ruler for this mission, my lord. Out of character, I just want to establish that Chris is the leader.
So we've chosen to just make Chris the leader this time. It seemed like a good plan. He didn't get a chance last time, so we're going to make him do it this time. Let's get...
My dictatorship shall be harsh but benevolent.
So yeah, let's get the cards dealt out. So Demetrius, do you want to
all right
vanish?
So I'll do myself first and then everybody else.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So I shuffle the cards and I pick the 3 of clubs, the 6 of diamonds, the 8 of clubs, and the 2 of hearts, and then I'll...
Okay.
Okay, so your cards are the 4 of spades,
4 of spades,
5 of hearts, 7 of diamonds, and 3 of spades.
Excellent.
All right. So next one is purple.
Right. What have I got?
So your first card is the 4 of clubs.
Yeah.
Your second card is the 6 of spades. Yeah. Your third card is the 10 of diamonds.
Yeah.
And your fourth card is the 10 of hearts.
Now that's awkward. Right.
That's good, Chris.
Okay, so
all right.
what card?
So you have the 2 of clubs,
2 clubs, yep.
the 4 of hearts,
Mm-hmm.
the 5 of spades, and the 5 of clubs.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so I'll call everyone now.
Right. So, how long goes by before the Karai call the council together again?
Probably not more than a week. Not more than a week or two. Kind of enough time for the general call to go out that problem stuff is happening. There are problems.
Keep an eye out. Let us know what you find, kind of thing.
Yeah, and you should gather your people to possibly do something about it.
The Illic will stand watch at the borders of the desert and watch for anything encroaching upon civilized lands.
Out in the deep deserts, the groups of singers float across the dunes.
That's a cool visual.
Cool. So yeah, the council is called yet once more for the second time, and Lacar has something to tell us, I assume.
Yep. As you're all once you're all called into the meeting chambers again, he reaches it into one of his pouches and pulls out a small vial of what appears to be fine grey dust. So he pours some into his hand and blows as it swirls in a sudden wind, taking the form of a shadowy form of another Karai. It's formed of the dust in the air, so you can kind of see through it.
That's really cool.
This is one of my venerable ancestors, Penathi. He fought against minions or great evilness and darkness within the desert, sacrificing his life so that my people could survive to this day. I've been communing with his spirit in order to seek his knowledge, let us know what wisdom he might have that avails us. He spoke of a place wrapped in perpetual sandstorm, perpetual destruction, far to the west of here, beyond even where the singers regularly travel. He spoke of a great darkness that calls that place its home. We may be able to travel there, seek knowledge of this thing, and if we are lucky, even destroy it before it can fully wake, leave its ancient storm-bound prison, and bring destruction to our peaceful lands. Will you join me on this?
Do we dare to wander so far into the deserts?
The monkey thing is kind of just sat there nodding.
I think we can definitely be of help, and I'm sure that the antelopes might be scared, but you'll have the protection of the Naga.
The Illic are not scared.
I understand it is far from your common land, Merje Bang, but this evil truly threatens us all. Even if you do not wish to send your kinfolk, this may not be best suited to their talents, but I'm sure there are many resources and such like you can lend to aid our cause.
You may take our coin. Equip yourselves as you please from our many merchants and traders. But to send our own people on such a mission would surely be suicide.
I thank you for your aid. I put my hands together and bow politely to Merje Bang.
So the monkey's kind of waving to try and get people's attention.
What say the singers?
Do you know where it is that you seek? Do you know the way?
Yes, or I know the general area. It is past the gates of the dawn, I'm sure your people know of the great crystal monoliths, the lightning that sparks around them. It is said to be some 3 days west of there.
Yeah, there's some humming. Obviously translation is makes things a bit awkward.
Yeah.
But the monkey says the singers say that they can look for it.
Your folk go even further into the desert than mine dare. It is possible you may well know of routes to such a place already.
The monkey kind of like nods. There's some kind of like contented humming from Oon. Are we ready for cards?
Yes.
Cool.
All right, so everyone mutes. I'll do myself first and then go to Joel.
Okay.
All right, so as I said before, I'll bet I'll contribute the 3 of clubs. I'll bet the 8 of clubs, and I'll discard the 2 of hearts. and Joel is afterwards. So, Joel.
Okay, so I'm going to contribute the 4 of spades.
4 of spades, yes.
Yep. I'll discard the 3 of spades.
He's got 3 of spades.
And I will bet the 7 of diamonds.
All right. Okay. And you keep the 6 of diamonds. And okay.
I believe
So-
I have the 5 of hearts left over.
Oh crap! Yeah, sorry. I mixed the cards. All right. So, yep.
Okay.
Chris is next. So,
Okay.
no, Purple's next. Okay.
Purple's next.
Hello.
Hello. All right. So, what are your bets?
My bet is gonna have to be that 10 of diamonds.
The 10 of diamonds is your bet, and your contribution.
My contribution is going to be the 6 of spades.
The 6 of spades, and your discard.
Because I'm pretty confident this is going to go through. So I am going to put the 10 of hearts in, which could go really wrong, but I need some decent cards in my hand. So I'm gonna put the 10 of hearts in.
10 of hearts in the discard pile. And
now this is the bit where the fallen one draws it, but oh god, I need to get rid of it. Right, I'll mute.
all right, and now Chris.
Hello.
Hello. So, what is your contribution?
The 5 of spades.
The 5 of spades. And what's your bet?
5 of clubs.
5 clubs. And what is your discard?
The 2 of clubs.
The 2 of clubs. All right. So the contributions are the 3 of spades, the 3 of clubs, the 4 of spades, 6 of spades, 5 of spades. So it's all black cards. So it's a win.
Ooh, that's good. Awesome.
All right. Let's go forward now.
Okay.
Right. So Chris, what's the dealio?
Okay. So we set out travelling across the wastes. There were many travels and tasks on the way. When we arrived, we found the gigantic sandstorm wrapped around, well, with something in the centre. With our small numbers, well, I don't know how much we want to RP this, but as we got towards the centre, we found something moving with it inside and discovered there was a giant snake that was attempting to, well, festering in the ground, corrupting the ley lines.
Ooh, so
Yep.
on the journey, you'll have seen groups of singers, like a handful of them, and you're probably not sure if it's the same group each time. It's kind of hard to recognize them, especially at a bit of a distance. But they do seem to be shadowing the caravan, and they occasionally you'll see this purple lightning sort of crackling between them. They're obviously doing some sort of magic. You can hear the humming from even at hundreds of meters away.
Trailing on the end of the caravan is an Illic trader who introduces himself, humbly yours, Umu Raid. Everything on this caravan is yours, care of Merge Bang. And it's adorned with weaponry, arcane symbols, and sort of hung with various jewels and things that act as talismans to ward against evils, or at least so the Illic believe.
Cool.
None of it is to be paid for. All of it is yours to do with as you will.
I am honoured by your sacrifice, fellow trader. We will use this wisely.
So how do we do? We've been confronted by the sandstorm.
We were successful. Yes, with the aid of the Oon's strange abilities, they managed to calm the sandstorm long enough for us to get through to the centre and discover the giant snake dwelling in the corrupted oasis within.
How big are we talking?
I'm guessing its head is kind of the size of a car. Pretty big.
Exec.
Yes.
Cool. And do we slay it? Do we drive it away?
After much battle with the Kurai and some of the Naga, managing to finally manage to defeat and kill the beast.
Cool. So it's slain and it's bleeding into this oasis.
Basically, yes. As the Storm.
Our contribution was lightning to burn to the cinders and something.
Oh, right. So like lightning magic.
Cool.
Cool.
That works.
Yes. So the bet.
I bet the 10 of hearts.
You bet. You bet the 10 of hearts. So no points. 7 of diamonds. Joel.
No points.
Wasn't it?
I did, yeah.
Oh, no. Wait, I do get a point. Because I've got a King of Hearts as my face down card. So I'm going to flip that over and claim my 1 point.
Okay. So 1 point for Dave. I bet the 8 of clubs. So 8 points for me. And
Ooh, nice.
5 points for the 5 of clubs for Chris.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So do these go to the disc back in the deck? Okay.
Yeah, they get shuffled back. Those get shuffled back in. Yeah, the fallen one draws 1 card from the discard pile.
So the card is the 2 of clubs.
Phew.
Yep.
So it doesn't get anything.
I'm happy with that.
And if someone had the Queen of Clubs, then they'd gain a point.
Doesn't seem to be.
I don't think anyone does.
Nope.
Cool. Right then.
Right. So yes.
We're going to need
so
new cards.
I'll deal myself first and ask her to go back. All right. So my new cards are the 9 of clubs, the 2 of clubs, and the Ace of diamonds. So I'll put these with the 6 of diamonds. And next is Joel.
Okay,
All right. So you have the 5 of hearts
I do.
in your hand. So you got the 9 of spades.
9 of spades, yep.
You got the black joker.
Ooh,
You got the Ace of spades and the 2 of spades.
that's one hell of a monochromatic hand. Okay.
And you're going to. I think we're going to play the joker card. So
Right then. What's my hand?
your hand is the. So you still have the 4 of clubs.
Yeah.
Right. So you have the 10 of clubs now.
10 of clubs. Nice.
The 5 of diamonds.
5 of diamonds.
And the 10 of spades. Well done.
10 of spades. Oh, that's good.
Yep. All right, and then I'll go to Chris.
New card time.
All right, so you have the 4 of hearts,
Yep.
and your new card is the Ace of hearts,
Mm-hmm.
the 8 of spades, not the Ace of spades, the 8 of spades,
Spades. Yep.
and the Ace of clubs.
Oh, two aces. Shame they don't count for anything special. Okay, so that's the 4 of hearts, Ace of hearts, 8 of spades, and Ace of clubs.
Yes.
Cool.
So I'll call everyone back in.
Let me look up what
Right.
So we got our new card, and a Joker appeared during
Okay.
the session.
Who got the
Ooh.
Joker?
So there is a moment within one of the many cliffside cities of the Illic folk
Cool.
where Merge Bang is sitting in what passes for a throne, which is essentially a large, spacious hammock strung between a pair of rock faces,
Oh, cool.
with his advisors stood just plainly on the wall in front of him, completely perfectly balanced, no need to grip. They can still gesticulate and brandish at him, each accusing him of not taking a strong enough stance
On what?
with this new council forming.
Oh, right. So he's not taken control. That's what they're after.
Would the rest of you like to point accusatory fingers at Merge Bang on behalf of the Illic people?
You can't see this over audio, but I am pointing.
We are all pointing.
I really think that my Naga cat quite against the the leader of the tribe. So I want to play someone who's actually sympathetic to Merge Bang. Yeah.
See, the standpoint of Merge Bang is that he is reluctant to throw the lot of his people in with bandits and snakes and strange humming stones. These people are alien to us. Well, what need have we of their business? We only need their coin.
Yeah, this is going to be the high priest of whichever deity it is that they follow. What sort of deity do they?
I imagine it's more possibly something that they have in kind with the Karai that they don't realize yet is a great deal of ancestor worship. So the spirits that run through the forest.
Yeah.
That run through the desert, I should say.
Yeah. Okay. So, the high priest is going to be. He's half. When we come into this, he's halfway through a long sort of grumbling rant about like the spirits are unquiet. We don't like. Why are we not chasing down the evil ourselves? Can we really trust them to do the job? Can we trust snakes? Guerrero grumble, and back in my day, we would never have thrown our lot in fools.
Surely to ensure that you and your followers have ancestors to worship, I must ensure that there are great ancestors in their future, that they themselves become the ancestors of our children and our children's children, not corpses laid out in some far-off waste.
My character is one of the generals of the Illic, and he bangs the hand on the table and says, Bergebang is right. We cannot allow this to cloud our judgment. We cannot fight this thing with emotion. Our armies and our warriors are spread out as much as possible. I think we need to be cautious here.
I'm the head of one of the merchant cartels. If we are to ally with them, we must be careful. Those desert folk are often bandits and raiders. They have killed many of our folk in the past.
They'll do so again.
And I suspect many of our kinfolk have lost livestock and other goods to them. Some of them mean well, but many of them little more than rogues and vagabonds.
Savages.
They shouldn't be trusted.
Exactly. It is to them to earn our trust, not the other way round.
What surety do you have they will not simply lead our kin into the desert and slay them?
Well, they have come back victorious once before. Perhaps this threat is credible, and perhaps they are leading us all into some grand charade that will see our entire people and our entire way of life wiped out.
So we're agreed.
Such kinds always speak of ominous doom, but they seem to be more willing. They generally seem unwilling to pay for it.
Let them earn our trust before we commit any further.
Indeed.
Our coffers are groaning with coin. Our people are widespread. They can have our information. They can have our resources, but they shall not take our blood.
If you think they can get the job done,
then we are in agreement.
I think we need to trust Mergerbang in this.
Wonderful. I shall rejoin the council and report back my findings on these strangers.
Chris?
Okay, so back at the council. So Lakar is still alive, but he's looking quite sick and injured. On his torso, there's fairly obvious scar wounds. It looks like one of his arms is not exactly hanging straight. All of the skin's pale and ashen.
Is he poisoned?
Yeah, he's looking faintly fevered, possibly from some unfortunate side effect of fighting a giant death snake in the desert.
That tends to leave an impact.
Yes. Yeah, unlike last time, he has an attendant with him who's kind of looking after him and making sure he's okay. Not like an obvious medical aid, but subtly keeping an eye on him.
Okay.
Mergerbang will order one of his own attendants to step forward with a crate full of medicines and fine perfumes to aid and assist with his recovery.
Thank you, Master Trader.
Konmar is holding a goblet filled with wine, and he's casually standing, like shaking the goblet in his hand, like smelling the aromas. Doesn't seem to be understanding the intolerance of other species to poisons, and he thinks that poisons are just only animal lesser beings are prone to poisoning. So he's just not understanding what's happening.
Fair enough.
Thank you, my fellow lords and masters. Our journey was successful, I'm glad to report. Whatever that beast was, it was wicked and it was powerful, but we managed to slay and defeat it.
There's a kind of hum of agreement.
But it seems our troubles are not yet over. The winds, I do not know if you have heard, but the winds, they speak. Out in even in the near desert, voices carried in the air, speaking ancient, rumors, treachery and deception. How much of this is true and how much of this is simply empty voices on the wind carrying fear and panic? I do not know. I seek to journey along the ancient roads of legend to see what lies beyond, to see where the source of the fabled winds is.
Slaying the great serpent brought excellent stories and songs to my people, and the warriors we provided came back and were heroes in the streets. There's much glory to be earned by following the cry, and we will be there to help you as much as we can. We have some beasts that can assist your warriors and sniff out any potential danger that they might face.
I thank you for your support.
You're going deep into the desert. Can you live?
I have but the trust that I can. I will be, as you say, it is far into the desert, but the source of these rumours, something is unsettling the very winds themselves. It cannot be left to simple chance. What this may be, I do not know. It is beyond my knowledge. Perhaps it is something you know of. Speakers, you have much knowledge of the ancient ways.
We have much knowledge of the desert. The speaking winds they do not speak to us, but we hear the hummings of the dunes and of the crystals. There is disquiet.
Oh, great Lakal Sir Penathi Ipthala, you are not well, you are barely fit to stand. Perhaps one of my own people could walk the mystic roads on your behest. We have walked them before.
This is something I must do, but I will gladly seek, or if you will aid me, I will gladly accept whatever you may offer.
Then allow me to send one of my forgotten Sherpas. They are skilled on the paths of the afterlife and the forgotten roads.
I thank you for your aid. This will be the longest journey I have ever travelled on. I only pray it is not my last.
Okay.
I really do feel like Chris is coughing in character here.
I am, yes. He's not well.
Not a well man. Right, ready for cards?
Yep.
Cool.
All right, I'll do mine first.
Yeah, and then work on the
line.
Cool.
All right, so my contribution to the pot will be the I said the hounds, so this is the ace of diamonds, and my bet will be the 9 of diamonds, and my discard will be the 6 of diamonds. So I stay with the 2 of clubs, and no, my contribution is the 9 of clubs. So yes, I'll go to Joel now.
Okay.
All right.
Right. I am going to commit my 9 of spades.
Your 9 of spades is in the commitment.
Yep.
And the bet.
I'm going to bet the ace of spades.
The ace of spades.
Because I really wasn't kidding. We do know the mystic roads rather well. And I'm going to discard the 5 of hearts and hope we do okay.
Wicked. Okay. And you stay with the 2 of spades.
I'm staying with the 2 of spades.
Yes. Okay. Please, Stefan.
Okay.
All right.
I am going to be contributing I think this is a good time for the 10 of clubs.
Contribution, the 10 of clubs.
Yeah. And my bet is going to be the 10 of spades.
Awesome.
And my discard is going to be the 5 of diamonds.
So 5 of diamonds. And so you stay with the
4 of clubs, yeah.
Yeah, 4 of clubs. Okay, so I'll do Chris now.
Cool.
Chris.
Hello.
All right. So what is your contribution?
Okay. So I'm contributing the ace of clubs.
The ace of clubs.
The ace, yep.
Yep.
I'm
And
gambling the 8 of spades.
excellent. And what's your discard?
The ace of hearts.
The ace of hearts.
Yep.
So you stay with the 4 of hearts.
Yep.
All right. And so the results are the ace of diamonds, the 9 of spades, the 10 of clubs, and the ace of clubs. So it's 20-1. So the quest is successful. So let's bring everyone back.
So we have played our cards. Chris has knows what's happened.
Yep.
Cool. Right. I'm interested to find out how this works. Are we going to be who's going to be playing who?
My character shall remain nameless, but they appear at the foot of the pyramids of the Naga city, masked completely in driftwood and holding a sitar, ready to lead the way.
Cool.
Cool.
My character is Lasha, and she's a female Naga that's handling a pair of really large hounds on a leash.
Oh, cool.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, she's sort of a scout slash, explorer sort of person.
Okay.
Cool.
And yeah, I'll be playing Lakal, who is one of the few Kurai actually coming along, most of the rest of which are kind of very youthful braves out to earn their stripes, as it were.
Ah, cool. Yeah. The speakers will meet you in the deep deserts. Though you have the monkey interpreter will be going along with you, because the ones out in the desert won't be able to understand you without its help.
Okay.
It largely keeps itself to itself. It doesn't seem to talk much without Un pushing it to.
Without somebody to translate, it doesn't take much
Yeah.
action.
It'll just sit on. Do you have any pack animals or anything?
The Kurai probably don't particularly. They mostly travel on foot.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Illic would have, or if they're just faster on foot.
No, we run everywhere. Why on earth would we enslave a beast when we can run so much faster?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay, so the monkey thing doesn't look particularly good at this desert travel business. It kind of lopes through the sand. It's got like a stick, like a big wide hat, and looks pretty miserable for the whole experience.
Lasha is quite accustomed to desert travel. She's sort of a spotter for oases or packs of edible animals for the tribe. So she's quite used to it. She feels very comfortable. She's wearing a sort of linen head scarf of some sort that keeps her head quite cooler.
So as the strange group, the group of multiple factions begins to head into the desert, after quite some time travelling, they seem to be travelling on a line between several of the strange ancient crystal formations that possibly the singers might be familiar with.
Yeah.
But I think the other races generally tend to stay away from, as they're a bit strange and eldritch.
It's if you see singers not when you're doing stuff like this, they're often near them.
Okay.
There is definitely a connection there, though no one really knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Partly because the singers don't really speak; they just hum.
As they travel, Lakal's getting increasingly fevered and fervent. He's still coherent, but he's very much a man on a mission. He begins driving you to travel longer and longer hours.
The singers aren't particularly fast, but they also don't sleep. And also they have notable going up things. They just move.
Hover.
Yeah.
Yeah, we must keep traveling. Can you not hear it? The whispers, the sounds on the wind. They go stronger, fiercer.
The singers like strike up sort of. You think it's a conversation? It's quite harmonious between them, like lots of different layers. And yeah, the monkey thing kind of turns and says, "We're getting close now," they say.
The dogs seem to be very agitated now and just keep pulling Lasha forward.
The masked Illic is going to approach Lakal and say, "The speakers think you're going to die down there. The speakers whisper terrible things about your fate."
The road I've walked is one I have chosen. I have children. I have lived a good life. This will be my legacy to my people.
Out of character, for the record, the Illic is lying through her teeth.
Oh, they genuinely do think that, but the Illic has no way of knowing.
The Illic has no idea. She just walks off and starts playing her sitar. Sort of as she plays, it reveals yet more of these mystic paths and makes the whispers around her grow louder.
Ooh.
Prince Konmar spoke about how craven the Illic was, but I couldn't believe it till I saw it with my own eyes.
Do you not taste our cowardice on the air, snake folk? Wouldn't you love to get a bite of fresh gazelle?
This is not the time for this. This is a mission to help the Kurai.
This is a march to the grave.
And the ape kind of starts waving. Look! There's a lot of loud humming as like another path opens. What does it reveal, Chris?
As the desert sandstorm opens up in front of you, through it you see a distant mirage. It appears something almost heavenly, something most people have probably never seen or only heard of in legend, rather than the stark desert or the forbidding wastelands. You see peaceful, fertile lands. As the car breaks into a run, the whispers you could all hear beginning to intrude onto your consciousness. It's getting louder and louder and shouting and screaming. As it suddenly, the mirage breaks, the sandstorm returns for a brief moment before going quiet. There's no sign of Lakal, but the whispers in the air have gone quiet.
There's a lot of humming. It's not particularly agitated. Like humming, it's quite slow. And so that's what he came to do?
The other Kurai are looking about in surprise and astonishment. What was that? We must return to our people and speak of this. We thought it would be some other enemy to defeat, not whatever that vision was. It is as spoken of in our oldest legends, the Greenlands, the heart of the world, where all was peaceful and fertile, not this broken, shattered world of stone and fire. They begin packing up and beginning to head back.
The singers are kind of communing again, and but the world isn't broken. It's supposed to be like this, they say.
How else would the world be?
The monkey thing is kind of looking at the may I return with you?
You may. You may not like the pace I keep.
It kind of looks at the Naga, looks at the hounds that, probably think it's like lunch-sized. Kind of looks like beggingly at, kind of looks at Lasha, kind of like, like with a sort of pleading look.
We're not animals,
The Illic snorts.
No, it's sort of like a pleading look as like, will you take me with you? Rather than...
Oh, no. I thought it was a pleading...
It's nervous about the hounds, but it's also, it needs to get home somehow.
The monkey is short enough to be carried on one of the hounds. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. They're quite large hounds, aren't they? So.
Yeah, like sort of St. Bernards, yes.
Yeah, definitely then. I'm thinking kind of like smaller than an orangutan. It's not that huge.
Like a cappuccino or larger than this?
A bit bigger, but not
Okay, like a monkey.
like smaller than probably smaller than a chimpanzee.
Okay.
But like its body plan is more like an orangutan.
So begs the question: did we win?
Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh wow!
So he successfully did whatever he was planning.
We escorted Lakal to the afterlife and gained visions of a green and pleasant land.
Yes.
Okay. In that case, I will claim my 10 points.
All right. So everybody wins in this. So 10 points for purple for a total of 11. So Joel had the ace of spades, correct?
I did.
So you got 1. I got the 9 of clubs, so I have a total of 17.
Oof.
And Chris has 8 of spades, so a total of 13.
Yep.
So we're all winners. And
Ooh.
What did you get, Joel?
I got 1.
1.
I put up the ace.
Right. Oh, wow. This has gone a lot different to last time. So now the fallen draws 1 from the discards.
And it's the 5 of diamonds.
So it gains 5 points. So whatever whatever happened here has aided the fallen in some way.
Yep.
So Chris, it's well, sorry, we're going to need to redraw cards, and then it's going to be Chris's final go at setting the scene, because we've decided that, like, if we're not doing Joker's changing leader, then we should probably do like a change of leader every 3 instead of every 4 rounds.
Rotation, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I'll draw my cards first, and
and then up the line.
Yep. All right. So I shuffle the cards, and I have the 5 of diamonds for me, the 6 of hearts, and the 6 of clubs. And these go together with my 2 of spades. All right, so now Joel.
Okay, ready when you are.
All right, so you still have the 4 of
No, 2 of spades.
4 of spades.
No, 2
No.
of spades.
2 of spades. Yes.
2 of spades.
I have the 2 of spades, so now you got the ace of clubs,
Ace of clubs.
9 of hearts,
9 of hearts.
and 4 of spades.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Right. So cards.
All right, so you still have the 4 of clubs,
Yeah.
and you got the 7 of spades, 3 of diamonds, and the 9 of clubs. Well done.
Man, I'm doing well on these black cards today.
All right.
I mean, after the first round, it's been pretty good for me.
I'll go to Chris now. Chris,
Yep.
so you still have the 4 of hearts.
4 of hearts.
So we got the 8 of diamonds, the ace of spades,
Another ace. Wow.
4 of diamonds,
Okay.
and you still have the 4 of hearts.
Yep.
All right.
I think I've had most of the aces.
Do I call everyone back? Yes, I call everyone back.
Right then.
Okay.
Okay. So Chris is setting up the scene.
Yep.
So we've been called back. Who's in charge this time? Who's going to be calling the council meeting?
So the heir presumptive to Lakal is Sumail Sir Lakal Ip Panathi, a fairly youngish woman, his daughter, who has managed to kind of ascend to rulership of the Karai in his sudden absence. It's been quite some time since the last council meeting. Everything seemed to be going fairly normally, but there's been quite a few changes within the geography of the desert.
Okay.
So what was once dry, and well, there's been kind of changes to where oases are, new plant life, strange plant life popping up, things that used to just always be taken for granted and constant are now a bit
Okay.
changed and different.
Hmm.
So Sumara, as I say, is a relatively young woman. She's, compared to the very rough rough and tumble way her father dressed. She's spent quite a lot of her time growing up in the cities of the Naga, so she's somewhat more civilized looking. Greetings, honourable council members. It has been too long since I've seen any of you. I used to only attend in my father's shadow. This is my first time attending such a meeting in my own right. It is my honour and my privilege to greet each of you.
It's nice to meet you, young miss. I'm very proud to be your acquaintance.
As I'm sure you're aware, well, sadly, this isn't just a social call. As I'm sure you're aware, there have been strange changes in the deep desert ever since my father's demise on that mission to the furthest roads several years ago. Although that strange wind has gone, never to be heard again, things have changed. There are sadly certain factions within my own people that have fallen into strange worship, claiming that my father has become one with the wind, seeking to return to some ancient lost world. While such things may be pleasant to speak of, it is causing great disruption and disharmony within my people.
The monkey is kind of waving. It looks quite noticeably older. It seems to have aged badly over the last few years.
What say you, Ood, of the speakers?
It's temptation. It's the fallen one trying to tempt you people away from the world. You're going to let it in.
The Illic will acknowledge and respect the sacrifice made by your father, and we recognize that the Kurai united are better than the Kurai divided. Any efforts that the Illic can offer you to reunite your people is yours.
It is for this reason, well, this does not seem to be a foe we can defeat with blades and martial valor, of which, as we have seen previously, we are as a group amply possessed. This is something that must be done with swift words and clever tongues. Between ourselves and the Illic and the trader folk of the Naga, I propose that we put on a grand caravan travelling between all of the outposts and the new oases that have appeared, so that we may attempt to unify our people as one, speak of the common good we cause, hope try and put the dampeners on those that would speak of the waste and the privation of the olden times, those that wish, or those that seek glory in nothing but desert survival and the empty waste. This should be something that plays to your strengths, Marjay Bang. Something as, well, you are not well suited to battles and martial valor, but this is a chance to sing of the glories of your people, open up new trade routes, travel to new oases and find new safe paths.
We will travel the trackless wastes and we will bring your people together. We are not without force. If it is to your benefit, we can silence those dissenting voices and bring the lost folk back under your heel.
Kolmar interrupts. It is very curious to see the Illic be brave in commerce and craven in battle. I'm really looking forward to this in person, and as an expert trader, I want to see with my own eyes what happens when the Illic get dangerous.
We each have our strengths, just as your folk are skilled at building, and when in matters of poison and venom, so too the Illic are skilled travellers and at travelling the wastes rapidly.
Okay, so the apes kind of try to get people's attention. Oon feels that it is very strange for you to call the desert barren and when it's full of things. we can speak of them, perhaps.
That we may.
Maybe if your people understood the desert better, then they may not wish to flee to another land.
Perhaps if much of the desert is inhospitable to my kind. Perhaps if you were to teach us of its ways, it may become more of a home.
It's translating. There's some sort of like a rumbling set of hums from Un.
Merger Bang takes several steps back from the rumbling rock.
And then Un's going to like float out. The ape kind of bows apologetically, and it's not like flight, like rapidly moving out. Un can move quicker than that. It's just slowly kind of drifting out.
Then, if we are agreed, I will get my kinfolk to begin preparations.
We are agreed.
Cool. Right. This sounds like a good place to put a break in the episode.